Hello, guitar people! Go away. It's bass time. We're looking at the Badwater. Badwater? Badwater. I don't know. What's Badwater? Badwater. But that would be two words, but it's Badwater. It's one word. I don't know why it's called that, but it's a bass pedal from Walrus Audio. Looks like so. One of my favorite bass pedals is the, I can't remember, from Dark Glass. Something vintage drive, something DI thing. It's got a DI clicky on it. It drives, but also has a very good EQ. And it might be pushed aside from the Badwater, because I think the Badwater is a little bit easier to handle in terms of the EQ section, more straightforward. And I just love the drive section. It's not to really drive and make metal tones, but to give your DI'd bass tone that little bit of 810 AMPETE idea where you've got a little bit of that tube growl in it. Just giving your bass some liveliness. And it's doing that absolutely beautifully. It also has a freaking compressor built in. So literally, this is the one pedal you need on the floor and you're done. We're actually playing a gig on Wednesday. We don't know if there's a bass set up there. And I'm taking this just in case Carol, our bass player, doesn't have anything. So I'll just have that with me. So what is it? We're going to turn this off. That's the drive section. So XLR out. This is a Zeola cable, by the way. The cable is probably as much as the pedal, but why not? There's a ground lift in case it goes brrr. There's an input back here. There's an output if you want to go to your amp. I think it sounds great. Without an amp, that's the cool idea. Studio or stage, go DI with XLR and you're good. 9 volt in the back, of course. So there's a volume, which kind of, I think, is the output volume. I think it kind of goes from right to left. So the compressor comes first, and that you dial in here. It's always on. If you don't want it, dial it down. Then there's the drive section, which kind of has a level, a drive, and a blend. So you can blend it in, which is very important for bass, blending in your drive signal and not just running it completely through distortion or overdrive. This switch is very convenient. I like it down here. More drive in the highs, more drive in the mids, more drive in the lows. And they even made the switch visually apparent, if you know what I mean. I mean, the switch makes sense. High, mid, low. That's where we're starting the test. Then you've got high EQ, mid EQ, low mid EQ, and low. Whereas the two mids, it's all about the mids, are tunable. I wish the low mids went down far enough to my liking. I think they start at 500 hertz. I would have liked this to be at 250 because sometimes that's where the bass can sound very honky and you want to tame that. So if this was 250 and you dialed it down and this up, you could actually get it to be very powerful without that boxiness. But they chose this at, I think, 500 and then up to 2 or something, and then 3 to 7, something like this, and this is pure highs. Look it up if you really want to have the stats. What am I? Your manual? Well, that's kind of what I'm getting paid for, I guess. And that's it. That's really all there is. It's pretty straightforward. You can read the manual, but realistically, this thing right out of the box will do what you want it to do. I'm testing it with a bass that probably is less expensive than the pedal. That's the Holly Benton JP in this case. This is passive. There's no battery compartment anywhere. Passive roll-off. P, J in the middle and in the back. There will be some buzz because this is a single coil. Very straightforward bass that just, for €239, really delivers. There's going to be a video on my channel as well. So we're going to start right here. So you click this in. So without the drive, that's the signal. So let's explore the tones. You can see it's already on. So of course we want some beefy bass. So let's see what we can do here. To find a frequency that you want boosted or cut, boost it all the way and then find the frequency. I can take that out. Actually, I like it in a bit. Don't play chords, come on. You can. We're gonna boost this. Take that out if you wanted to. You get some definition there. Or really make it very accompany-ish. Of course, the high end, if you really want. Now we got that buzzy from the back. But we haven't compressed anything yet. And just see how beautifully long those notes sit there. Okay, all there, but obviously that's EQing and compressing. We really want to bring in the drive. So I'm going to keep the blend down, keep the drive up in the middle right now, keep the pick, and bring that puppy in. Even here, at subtle settings, this really brings in grit and liveliness. the input there. I mean, input to the audio interface, the output of the pedal. Really bring in the drive there, a little bit less compression there. Now my signal is getting less bassy because it's emphasizing the drive on the top end. So I'm losing a little bit of that low end. Again, that's the level for the drive. Now we're driving the mids. I really like it down here, which is driving the low end, which I typically wouldn't do. But with this pedal, it just sounds killer. So let's go a little bit nuts. Let's drive it more. Now it's got growl without being super distorted and metally. It's just enough dirt to really shine through a mix. It's not too much. Obviously, dial that back a bit. Not really hearing it as distortion right now, just listen to it without. I mean, obviously I'll get the level up. Or for the jazzy stuff. And so on. Obviously, you could play that. But that little bit of dirt is just beautiful. I love it. I mean, especially, again, if you want to rock. hear more of the EQ with the drive section on because there's more stuff to EQ. If you like the clicky stuff, get it in there. I mean, hey, more clicky. Too much clicky. Too much. But okay, so bottom line, there's make this big, Leslie. We're done with this thing. There is nothing I can fault the pedal at. Like the design, like the usability, like the two switchies, like the EQ, which isn't going crazy, but just really is usable on full blast everything. Love the drive section, love the voice switch, like the XLR option. Price, let me check this. Right now, at Thomann $329. I got no problem with that. This is the one tool you need as a bass player in front of you. You don't need a big ass pedal board. Please don't have that as a bass player. You're gonna do it anyway, but whatever. But it's the one thing you should have to just have your tone. You're not gonna have, I mean, you could bend down and do different settings for different songs, but I think you actually probably do that more with your playing in the bass. This is your one-stop shop for compression, drive, and EQ. $329, I think, compared to Dark Glass is cheaper. I've played a lot of these types of pedals and a lot of them do disappoint me, I have to say. So for me, it would be between the Dark Glass, vintage something, can't remember. It's a good pedal. And this. This is, I think, a tad cheaper and fills the same need for me. So I would go with this, realistically. Well, thank you, Walrus Audio, for commissioning this video, by the way. Who didn't know that I do bass stuff, but I've probably played more gigs as a bass player than as a guitar player, and I need these kind of tools. I'm happy that there's one from people that I, like and respect, that make good stuff, like Walrus Audio. So thanks for this. We'll put links below, as always, and there's one more thing. Animals at the end.